Hey John, I wanted to show you this project I've been working on. It's a tool to help me track what I'm studying and track the progress and hopefully stay motivated to continue to study stuff and actually kind of produce a record of what I've studied in the form of notes. At the top level, you've got a notebook. Um, Books are kind of totally separate. Um, I'll go into this one here. I'll delete this actually. I've created some test data in here. So within a book, you've got subjects, topics. Uh, I've created mathematics and English for two subjects, and in topics, I've created grammar, which I've put under the subject of English, algebra, trigonometry, calculus. Also under the subject of calculus, but you can edit, you can change things, you can add, test, subject under English, whatever. So you can add topics here, and then each topic I'll go ahead and delete this one. Each topic you can go ahead and create what I'm calling completion criteria, and these are the things that signify whether or not you're finished with a topic. So, for example, under grammar, I've just created a couple things like verbs and nouns. Under algebra, I've got functions. Under trigonometry, I've got right angles, degrees, radians, Pythagorean theorem. So these are the things that um, if you satisfy these, you're making progress towards having studied that topic. Um, the way that you do that is you create notes and you associate them to the completion criteria. So over here in the notes table, you got a place to add. That brings up a dialogue where you can add a name, a description, and then you've got kind of a rich text editor for bold text and italics and underline and all that kind of stuff. And then also I put a number of symbols in here for math. You just select one and it's copied to the clipboard. You can paste it, stuff for um, calculus or whatever. Um, Greek symbols as well. Um, so so you've got this place to create the note. You save it, and that's kind of a draft. And now you got to come back, and then you get some more stuff off to the side. And this is where you can tie the note to a completion criterion, or tie it to another note, or you can assign a tag to it, which is basically a way to filter notes and stuff, which we can see over here in the tag table. Any of the subjects, topics, or completion criteria names, they show up here. You can just make one easily. You don't have to use one of the predefined ones though. You can just make one. So I'll just make a tag here called right angle. Um, but yeah, so I've created some data here for some sample data, for like degrees, some information about degrees or triangles, um, and Pythagorean theorem. Here's the theory, and then here's an example. And then I've linked a lot of these notes together. I'm using this example to show how these are kind of related topics, and one could be related to another, and you can create this tree or this graph of notes, and then finally they'll hook up to completion criteria. So that's where we can go when we can see all that stuff in analytics. So in the analytics page, we can see the all the completion criteria, um, how many of those things are satisfied in the whole book, sort of summed up across the whole book or broken out by subjects or down at the level of topics. And then you can filter here So if I wanted to get rid of this grammar one, I could just look at only mathematics, and or I could, I could look at just calculus or something. I think there's nothing in that one, um, but trigonometry. Anyways, this is the way to um, look at how many of these completion criteria are satisfied, and how far along you are. So I'm hoping to these bars will change color too. If there's like a lot of incomplete ones, they'll as it goes down, it'll turn yellow, orange, red, and so hopefully this is like a motivator to you want to see green, you want to complete stuff. So that's one thing. Another thing is just usage over time. So it's like a time series chart, um, where I'll just look at like all of January, February, March. Um, so we can see over time. This is my activity. I've cleared out all the database, so there's no activity except the stuff I just created today. But you can see, um, there's a spike for today. I could bucketize this and look at just the week or look at it by month. But I've broken out into two series. One is notes, and those are the notes. And then the other thing I call the entities, which are the subjects, topics, completion criteria. Anytime you interact with something, create or update or whatever, you'll see an entry here. And then the next thing is to see the associations of the notes with the completion criteria. So the completion criteria are a darker shade, and then the notes are a lighter shade. But you can see like a 3D graph of all your notes and how they interact with each other, and you can kind of zoom out and in and whatnot. And then you can filter by tags here, you know. Um, so that's the note graph, and then the VIN is the next thing where you can look at the notes by tag. This is kind of more tag centric. Um, so like trigonometry, you could you can kind of um, add the add the actually, I don't think we associated it. I created that tag. I wanted to associate it to, let's see, this one. Yeah, let me associate this right angle tag to that note so that when we come back over here, we should see right angle. Yeah, it's got one thing under it. Anyways, this is more tag centric. I can see where the count of notes and then the list of notes that what buckets they fall into from the point of view of the tags. Um, okay, so that's kind of the analytics. That's the way to see what you've done and so forth. And then now the next piece is the correlations and compositions. This is where you can take kind of take some of these. You take your notes. You could filter by tags as well, but you take your notes and you grab whichever ones you want and you save them, and they go into this list here. And here's where you could delete them, you can rearrange them. So I'll put them in some kind of order, like degrees, and then triangles, and then right triangles, kind of building up the Pythagorean theorem, and then finally in an example, and I'll say Pythagorean, and then description, whatever. You don't have to have a description. Save that. Um, and now And now that's saved. If I wanted to, I could load that. I don't have any others, but if I came in here fresh with no data, I could load a previous one and it will show up. I can edit it, save it. But so now I've taken a bunch of these notes and composed them, and so now I want to come over here and I've got another table with that one I just created. So if I click on it, now it takes all that, it uses that rich text editing, and then as you can see, it carried over the underline and the underline, the bold text. I don't think I have any um, italics here, but brought over that kind of stuff. So then it composes it all into one big note, and then you can print it, and it'll just print it to PDF. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much the project. The idea is to you know work on uh, work on notes to study something, and then periodically compose those into larger notes and kind of keep those on hand. And that's it. Talk to you later.